15 minutes where we sit for Bhagavatam class itself is a great sadhana for us, and let us use it for the sadhana. In the sadhana, the first aspect is consciously bring our liking, bring our loving, our love for the Adhyana of Bhagavata and also the Shraddha. Second is throughout the class, we try to bring our mind's attention to listen. Third sadhana is try to use intellect to understand or grasp all the details that are given. And while listening only, we try to analyze, to understand and accept the truths, facts that are expressed. More greater we are if we are able to replace our earlier wrong understandings with the new right understandings, or the incomplete understandings we make complete now through listening to Bhagavatam. In this, right from Pranava Ucharana through the prayers, the Bhagavata Parayanam, everything is a golden chance we are giving to ourselves, which when fully encashed, we are the most blessed ones, we are the greatest seekers. In this way, every class of ours should become a sadhana for us in controlling the faculties, integrating the faculties, applying all of them in this divine pursuit, and grasping to the extent possible. May the entire Guru Parampara, Devatas, Ishtadeva, our own Guru, bless us in this regard. Let us start. Om, 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 Om Sahanavavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhetamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Satchidanandarupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tavatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayan Namaha. Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam Shukamukadamrutadrava Samyutam Pivata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvibhavugaha Yasvanuභāvamakhilaśrutisāramekam Adhyātmadīpamatitirṣatāṃ tamondham Samsārinām karunayā purāna guhyam Tam Vyāsasunamupayāmi gurum munīnām Nārayaṇam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devīm sarasvatīm vyāsam Tato jayamudīrayed. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om yonta pravishya mama vācamimāṃ prasuttāṃ sanjīvayatyakila shakti-dharasvadhamna अन्यांश्च हस्तचरण श्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो क्षेत्रेभ्यो नमः शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुने शौनकादृषिभ्यो वैशम्पायनादि ऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादि ऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादि भक्तजनेभ्यो मत्स्यादि अवतारेभ्यो आदित्यादि नवग्रह देवताभ्यो दक्षिणामुति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कंदः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः पारायणम् अथ त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। Yesterday in our Parayanam we have done 30 verses of 23rd chapter of 11th Skandha. After that, whatever shlokas, let us do the Parayanam of them. Om Shri Bhagavanuvach Ityabhipreत्य मनसा यावन्त्यो द्विजसत्तमः उन्मुच्य हृदयग्रन्थीन शान्तो भिक्षुरभून्मुनिः सचचारमहीमेतां संयतात्मेन्द्रियानिलः भिक्षार्थं नगरग्रामान् असङ्गो अलक्षितो अविशतो तं वै प्रवयसं भिक्षुम् अवधूतम् असज्जनाः दृष्ट्वा पर्यभवन् भद्र बह्वीभिः परिभूतिभिः केचित् त्रिवेणुं जगृहुः एके पात्रं कमण्डलुं पीठं चैकेक्षसूत्रं च कन्थां चैराणि केचन प्रदाय च पुनस्ताने दर्शितान्याददुर्मुनेः अन्नं च भैक्ष्य सम्पन्नं भुञ्जानस्य सरित्तटे मूत्रयन्ति च पापिष्ठाः श्रीवन्त्यस्य च मूर्धने यतवाचं वाचयन्ति ताडयन्ति न वक्ति चेत् तर्जयन्त्यपरे वाग्भिः स्तेनोऽयमिति वादिनः बध्नन्ति रज्ज्वातं केचिदु बध्यतामिते क्षिपन्ति केव जानन्तः ह्येष धर्मध्वजः शठः क्षीणवित्त इमां वृत्तिम् अग्रहीत् स्वजनोज्झितः अहो एष महासारः धृतिमान् गिरिराडिवा मौनेन साधयत्यर्थं बकवत् दृढनिश्चयः इति एके विहसन्त्येनम् अन्ये दुर्वातयन्ति च तं बबन्धुर्निरुरुदुः यथा क्रीडनकं द्विजम् एवं स भौतिकं दुःखं दैविकं दैहिकं च यत् भोक्तव्यमात्मनोदिष्टं प्राप्तमबुध्यता परिभूत इमां गाथाम् अगायत नराधमैः पातयद्भिः स्वधर्मस्थः धृतिम् आस्थाय सात्विकीं द्विज उवाच नायं जनो मे सुखदुःखहेतुः न देवतात्मा ग्रहकर्मकालाः मनः परं कारणमामनन्ति संसारचक्रं परिवर्तयेद्यतो मनोगुणान् वै सृजते बलीयः ततश्च कर्माणि विलक्षणानि शुक्लानि कृष्णान्यतलोहितानि तेभ्यः सवर्णाः श्रुतयो भवन्ति अनीह आत्मा मनसा समीहता हिरण्मयो मत्सखौ द्विचष्टे मनस्वलिङ्गं परिगृह्य कामान् जुषन्निबद्धो गुणसङ्गतोऽसौ दानं स्वधर्मो नियमो यमश्च श्रुतं च कर्माणि च सद्व्रतानि सर्वे मनो निग्रहलक्षणान्ताः परो हि योगो मनसः समाधिः समाहितं यस्य मनः प्रशान्तं दानादिभिः किं वद तस्य कृत्यम् असंयतं यस्य मनो विनश्यतु दानादिभिश्चेदपरं किमेभिः मनोवशेन्ये हि अभवन् स्म देवाः मनश्च नान्यस्य वशं समेति भीष्मो हि देवः सहस सहीयान् युञ्जाद्वशेतं स हि देवदेवः तं दुर्जयं शत्रुमसह्यवेगम् अरुन्तुदं तन्न विजित्य केचित् कुर्वन्त्यसत् विग्रहमत्र मर्त्यैः मित्राण्युदासीनरिपोन्निविमूढाः देहं मनोमात्रमिमं गृहीत्वा ममाहमित्यं दधियो मनुष्याः येषोऽहमन्योऽयमिति भ्रमेण दुरन्तपारे तमसि भ्रमन्ति जनस्तु हेतु सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनश्चात्र हि भौमयोस्ततो जिह्वां क्वचित् संदशति स्वदद्भिः तद्वेदनायां कथमाय कुप्येत दुःखस्य हेतुर्यदि देवतास्तु किमात्मनस्तत्र विकारयोस्ततो यदङ्गमङ्गेन निहन्यते क्वचित् क्रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुष स्वदेहे आत्मा यदि स्यात् सुखदुःखहेतुः किमन्यतस्तत्र निजस्वभावः न ह्यात्मनोऽन्यत् यदि तत्मृषा स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मात् न सुखं न दुःखं ग्रहानिमित्तं सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनोजस्य जनस्य ते वै ग्रहैर्ग्रहस्यैव वदन्ति पीडां क्रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुषोस्ततोऽन्यः कर्मास्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तद्धि जडा जडत्वे देहस्त्वचित् पुरुषोऽयं सुपर्णः क्रुध्येत कस्मै न हि कर्ममूलं कालस्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तत्र तदात्मकोऽसौ नाग्नेर्हि तापो न हिमस्य तत्स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मै न परस्य द्वन्द्वं न केनचित् क्वापि कथञ्चनास्य द्वन्द्वोपराग परतः परस्य यथाहम संसृतिरूपिणः स्यात् एवं प्रबुद्धो न बिभेति भूतैः एतां स आस्थाय परात्मनिष्ठाम् अध्यासितां पूर्वतमैर्महर्षिभिः अहं तरिष्यामि दुरन्तपारं तमो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिनिषेवयैव श्रीभगवानुवाच निर्विद्य नष्टद्रविणो गतक्लमः प्रव्रजगाम्बर्यटमान इत्थं निराकृतो सद्भिरपि स्वधर्मात् अकम्पितो मुं मुनिराहगाधाम सुखदुःखप्रदो नान्यः पुरुषस्यात्मविभ्रमः मित्रोदासीनरिपवः संसारस्तमसकृतः तस्मात् सर्वात्मना तात निगृहाण मनोधिया मय्यावेशितया युक्तः एतावान् योगसङ्ग्रहः य एतां भिक्षुणा गीतां ब्रह्मनिष्ठां समाहितः धारयन् श्रावयन् शृण्वन् द्वन्द्वैर्नैवाभिभूयते इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति अयं रसः, अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः Mama Munchada Karhichida. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam. Ekadasha Skandaha. Muktirhitva Rupam. Swarupena Vyavastitihi. Atha Ashtavimshodhyayah. Shri Bhagavanuvach. Again, wholeheartedly salute Krishna Bhagavan, Krishna Rupa Bhagavata Purana, and Bhagavata Sthita, all Devatas, Avataras, Bhaktas, Jnanis, Rishis. Also salute the entire Brahma Tattva Guru Parampara, starting from Parabrahma himself. Salute to Shruti Mata, having that Shraddha faith in them, every day praying to them is always in our good. In our today's 2 minutes introduction, what we saw just now in the chanting of 23rd chapter, wherein that sadhu, that Brahmana, though he was in such a bad nature in the beginning of earning money by all fair foul means, not using it for any charitable act of giving it to any of his near and dear ones, and he did not spend that money for himself also. Then the money being chanchala, in that way she can't be stagnant. Therefore, by various means, it was looted by various people. Then he was so much humiliated, insulted, not cared at all. Then he became the sadhu bhikshu. Even then, also, not even seeing his old age, people were harassing him like anything, like Indians harassed in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, in all these deshas. So badly, horribly. Then instead of reacting and fighting with them, this sadhu Brahmana has sung a wonderful Gana or Gita. And this is the essence of entire Vedanta. Through all the 6 classes every day, we are trying to understand only one this point, that in Paramatma, other than Him, there is nothing else. And everything else other than Paramatma is only in mind and its imagination and projection. This mind, when it is this way, controlled, quietened from all its imaginations and projections, and that way made sattvika, same mind is, when applied in the search of Bhagavan through bhakti or jnana, riding on that mind, I slowly discover myself. Thereafter, other than me, nothing is there for me to trouble or bind. So here, so janaha, grahaha, karmaha, kalaha, each of the things are taken and discussed as to how they become cause of our dukkha, and refuted that none of them are the cause of dukkha. Only one thing cause of dukkha and bandhanam is our own aniyantrita mana. One niyantrana of the mana is becoming lazy by identifying with the deha. Second niyantrana of the mana is running into the world through the sense organs. Third niyantrana of the mana is mind in its own whims and fancies. Fourth niyantrana of the mana is not coming under the control of buddhi. Then the fifth anintrana of the mana is it is not along with the mind merging in Paramatma. This is how the uncontrolled mind's definition. Uncontrolled mind is not only unruly mind having all kama krodhadi vishaya saktis, trying to fulfill them through indriyatyadi, but uncontrolled mind also means that which is not devoted to Paramatma. And when you add intellect also to mind here, the uncontrolled mind intellect also means that which is not contemplating on what is the basic substratum behind the entire world, the one without second principle. So in all these 5 things, we have to control mind, not becoming lazy by identifying matter or the deha, not becoming extroverted through indriyas into shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha, not in its own whims and fancies. These non-positive 3 things are removed, 2 positive things are added. The one should always be in bhakti to Paramatma. The mana buddhi together should be in search of tattva, the truth. First by listening in the class about the truth, thereafter by studying independently at home. Third, after that, keeping the books away, doing the mananam chintanam in us, and the end of the west of the chintanam, discovering the actual self, and this mind and ego merge in the identity with the self. There, the self is experienced as it is, then no problem remains. If that is not done, mana projects everything in multiple forms, million forms, and everything becomes cause of dukkha. So that parohi yogo manasas samadhi, one of the very famous oft quoted sentences is found in this chapter of this Brahmana Gita, Bhikshu Gita. Parohi yoga manasaha samadhi. This is what our Telugu people in the morning trying to understand. The Savikalpa Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In the Savikalpa Samadhi, only one thought that I am that self who is a Sakshi Chaitanya for all the Drishya, or I am that self which is with this meaning mentioned through this word. Thereafter, even when the thought is dropped, we enter into our own essential experience that is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Parohi yoga manas samadhi. So minding the mind is the most important sadhana. And this mind alone is Maya at its play, left to itself, how it creates all the havoc, and what is the meaning of taming the mind, mastering the mind, transcending the mind, making right use of the mind. All of that is what is the subject matter of entire Adhyatmika Shastra and Sadhana. So today's thought is that no more we are worried much about the worldly losses or gains. We focus only on mana. Bring it to Sattva Guna, use it for Tattva Chintana, and dissolve it in Atma Anubhuti. Is it not? So in all the every yoga shastra, bhakti, karma, jnana, dhyana, yoga, then yoga vasishtha, the shastra, all what is spoken is about this only. They talk about three things. What is that? Vasana akshaya, mano nasha, atma anubhuti. Vasanas are dissolved because of vasanas only the tendency of mind getting projected and getting variety of thoughts are there in it. With mano vasana kshayam, we achieve mano nasha or layam. When the mano layam, mano nasha happens, what we discover is self. And what is dhyana anubhuti is what? The self which has become the mana which has become the jnata and gnayam. These jnata and gnayam along with mana are resolved in the Atma Anubhuti. The Atma, which is the substratum of these three, or Atma is the one on which the Mana, then Aham, then Idam, these three are projected. Mana is projected, in the Mana only Aham, Idam are projected. Aham is me, in contrast with me, whatever the world is there, whether it is Sukshma world in the Swapna or the Stula Jagat in the Jagrat, they are all called as Idam. So aham idam is the samsara. They both are thoughts. They have the root in the mana. Mana is the appearance of a peculiar phenomena in the absence of the knowledge about the absolute self. आत्मज्ञान के बाद न मन रहेगा न अहमिदम, वृत्तियों के द्वारा बना हुआ भेद जगत रहता है. फिर क्या होगा? मन रहित सर्वदर्शनम आत्मस्वरूप में. The moment the mind is brought, it creates aham and idam bheda. Even the mana used for aham idam bheda for the sake of vyavahara, but that is not taken as actual reality to get bound after we discover the self. That is how the Jivan Mukta brings out the mind from him as an instrument in which aham idam bheda he uses for vyavahara without compromising with the absolute knowledge about everything is nothing but my own self. This is how the introduction today, as well as essence of all the Vedanta, as well as what sadhana we have to do and siddhi we have to achieve, and also the subject matter in our 28th chapter, which is under discussion. So in the 28th chapter, in the Mukti Skandha, 11th Skandha of Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana, the last chapter of teachings by Bhagavan. In the 29th also there will be few teachings, but thereafter Uddhavaji goes to Badrinath there. But this chapter can be considered as the last, in which Tattva Jnana, the Brahma Jnana, the Atma Jnana, from that standpoint, the position of the entire world of Sthula Sukshma Karana with all its multiplicity is decided, defined, explained. And we have to become very sharp, we have to become very attentive, we have to put lot of efforts, we have to struggle under the guidance of Guru to sort out in our understanding every of the things that are taught here in this 20th chapter, as well as what is being taught by Sita ji to Hanumanji, Rama to Hanumanji in our Adhyatma Ramayana also. Take 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 year, 1 Janma or 2 Janma. What liberates us is knowledge, and that knowledge is there in these Shastras, especially these chapters. Take as much time as you need or want or require, but understand these things without being careless towards them, without being negligent towards them, without being procrastinating them. एफर्ट लगा के इस दोनों अध्यायों में, हियर 28वां अध्याय 11 संध, वहां पहला सर्ग इन बालखंड, मेहनत करके पूरा जो व्यक्ति समझता है उनको वेदांत का सार का ग्रहण हो गया. रिमेनिंग इज साधना. First of all, you have to understand the essential aspects of Vedanta. Theoretically, intellectually, it's called Jnanam. Then to experience that, we do the sadhana, that's called Vijnanam. Sadhana takes us to experience that also again called as Vijnana. Anubhayukta Jnanam. So, yesterday we saw, last shloka is, Ki Tasman Nahi Atmanah Anyasmad Anyah Bhava Nirupitaha. This is the main sentence. Because Bhagavan himself is creator created, maintainer maintained, dissolver dissolved. Other than that Bhagavan, which is called Atma, there is no other thing seem to be existing. And what Paramatma is, other than these set of two of three into two again at the Vyashti level, Samishti level. इनसे अलग रहने वाले भगवान से हटकर और कोई नहीं है. वो भगवान ही सृष्टि के दृष्टि से खुद ही क्रिएटर क्रिएटेड, मेंटेनर मेंटेन्ड, dissolver dissolved he becomes. Now remember, therefore, what is the essence from this shloka standpoint of Vedanta? Either see Paramatma purely, immaculately as Sachidananda, in which the creator is not there, created is not there. So to maintainer is not there, maintained is not there. So to dissolver, dissolved, not there. And the pure self in which all these are not there. Either visualize that way Paramatma, or in and through all these six happenings, see only the Paramatma again with his own Ananta Maya Shakti. And all that is Maya's work is only to project the unreal to appear in front of us. And if we give more chance to it, it just makes that unreal accepted as real, and we involve really in that. We even fight and we create all samsara to us. See, just started as a sport, slowly it has become an issue because of prize money and prestige, and the people while playing those sports, instead of enjoying the sport, they become enemies and they fight also. How many of the sports we have seen in this world where the players also wounded each other? The hockey stick se maar liye, or rugby se kya kya nahi kiya. Every sport had the people fighting. And also the respective nationed people also audience, how many of them they fought with each other. And there are reasons of the sports because of which even two countries have become enemies. एक खेल के वास्ते जिसको ज्यादा सीरियस लिया गया, दो देश एक दूसरे से लड़ने को तैयार. Same is the mind projected duality. When it is given reality, it has got all the capacity, ability to create the reality in us to fight with each other, destroy. That's called samsara. Clear? So it is nothing other than Atma. And then Nirubhita ayam trividha nirmula bhati atmanaha is the most important sentence of Vedanta. In the pure self, all these trividha bhati are found to be or proved to be not existing along with its root. So everything in the world is Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika is because of Maya. This Maya is not there in Paramatma. Therefore, in Paramatma, along with the cause called as Maya, the effects of it called as the Trigunatmika Idam Rupa Jagat, Stula Sukshma Karana, is found to be non-existent. On the deep seat of meditation, when we really transcend the upadhis and the gunas, we'll see pure, immaculate, the bottom ocean like or the space like conscious self. Other than that, there is nothing. Be attentive, be careful. Not knowing it as it is called Maya, ignorance, avidya. From that comes out Maya, which projects the mana, which projects the entire world of duality. How much ever we are fighting in this duality, all of that is mana kalpita. Mana prakalpita. Kalpita is important word to say that it is not satya or real. And all Vedanta Shastras with hundreds of examples, that is what they say, oh Baba, though it is not real, yet the anubhavas come. Just because the anubhutis are coming, don't consider they as real. When you are deeply inquiring, you know the thing itself is not there, then you discover as much the thing was unreal, so much was the anubhuti. Like dream is unreal, dreams, anubhavas are unreal. But in the dream, the anubhavas appear to be real, though the dream itself is unreal. Every day we go through variety of terrible dreams, wonderful dreams, a variety of dreams. I am sure you all must be having almost every day one dream. What is that? Swamiji will give holiday today. है क्या आता होगा आपको सपना है ना ख्वाहिश एंड यू मे बी प्रेइंग टू आल्सो गॉड भगवान कुछ हो जाए स्वामी जी को या कुछ हो जाए क्लास छुट्टी हो जाए एंड यू डोंट नो दैट आई एम आल्सो प्रेइंग more strongly than you that nothing should happen to me or my audience so that there's no break of the class even one day जिनका प्रेयर ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग है वो काम करेगा. So the dream in the dream appear to be real. So to this. How many number of times we listen, yet the Maya and Moha of the mana is so powerful, na? Still we take the world and the things and beings. Every happening in this is so real, and we are so enchanted, fascinated, enslaved, and bound by it. ये है देखो ताकत मन का माया का. फिर उस ताकतवर मन माया को हराने के लिए हाउ मच ऑफ आध्यात्मिक ज्ञानम वी शुड हैव, how much of the vicharana shakti we should have, how much of the upasana and to be done to Guru and Bhagavan to invoke their grace. Dekho, this is a continuous war within me. My own knowledge gained from the Shastras and Guru, and my own habitual mind of projecting the world and taking it as really as real. That is the spiritual struggle. That is the continuous, constant yuddha happening in the heart between the dharma of the Paramatma and the adharma of the projected Jagat. In Adhyatmika seeker is in more terrible a war than a civil war or international war or a world war 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More powerful because that war ends if it starts in 5 or 6 years. This war goes on for how many days, years, even lives also after taking into hands. If a war is not waged, we are bound in taking anatma as anatma for millions of lives and suffer consequences. So, this second line, please mind it very carefully. What is that? Nirubhitayam trividha nirmula bhatiratmani. Very careful. We have spent 2 days to study this one. Idam bhati, idam trividha bhati atmani nirmula nirubhita. This threefold thing of existence in the world of all the things is found to be without even its cause, along with its cause, it is found to be non-existing in the pure self. आत्मनि भाति, आत्मा में दिखने वाला ये त्रिविधा, ये जो है निर्मूला निरूपिता. और ये जो त्रिविधा triode, whatever we are seeing in the world, in the pure inquiry and discovery of the self, they are found not to be existing with its cause. Maya is cause, effect is the triputi. Triputi of everything. Whether it is the Adhyatmika, Adidayivika, Adibhautika Srishtis, whether it is Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti, and in all these three avasthas, it is Jnata and Jnanam and Gnayam. Whatever it is there, all of that in the pure self, it is not there. Okay. Now see, when this intellectual knowledge is there, to make the intellectual knowledge an experience, one side we have to transcend all of them in the seat of meditation. Second side, while being in the world, we should not give reality value importance to the world, and we give importance value by doing the prashamsa and garhana of the world. Therefore, etad vidwan, the one who has understood madhutam jnana vijnana naipunam, the jnana which I have given and conviction of that jnanam, even on the seat of meditation, some glimpses is discovered. Na nindachi natastauti. He will not do the ninda of anything, he will not do the stuti of anything. Then what? Loke charati suryavat. The suryavat means what? Either Surya says, I alone am there is nobody other than me, or the Surya says, if any of the three worlds are there, they are only my own expression. ठीक है ना, मेरे अलावा और कुछ है ही नहीं है, जो कुछ भी है मैं ही हूँ, और जब वो मैं ही होता हूँ तो उसका ये प्रशंसा करके अटैच होना, निंदा ग्रहणा करके अवर्ट होना या हेट करना, इस कॉल्ड एज राग एंड द्वेषा, they are not there. And by now, in so many years of listening, you must be very clear that our mind with these two devils of raga dvesha is the cause of entire samsara. The moment the raga dvesha are gone, there is no samsara. That is seen in the nidra. In the jagrata and swapna, entire world is because of raga dvesha. In nidra, raga dvesha are not there, therefore mana is not there, therefore duality is not there, therefore samsara is not there. So the one who understands what I said very thoroughly, he knows there is nothing other than him as real. Then how can you do the prashamsa and ninda? I told you the very good example 3 days back. When a filmfare award is done, award is given to whom? Not the fellow who was in the cinema, but the one who acted. Because the fellow who was in the cinema is unreal, therefore how can you give him award? Like this person acted as a king, very good role. Why me a king? So the king is not given award, though the performance of the king as a king was the one which gave entertainment to everyone. But even if the filmfare wale want to give award to the king, they can't, because where is he? He's not real. Therefore, they say this fellow acted as a king so well, therefore he is awarded. He is awarded means what? Obviously, others are not awarded. So he is successful, the others are failure. In other case, they are successful, they are failure. हर बार एक ही बंदे को तो भी नहीं मिलता ना अवार्ड, तो आज मिला मतलब अगले साल नहीं मिलेगा पक्का. सो आज मिला मतलब स्तुति हुआ, नेक्स्ट ईयर नहीं मिला मतलब वही निंदा ही हुआ इनडायरेक्टली. सो निंदा स्तुति भी उसका भी नहीं होता, इसका भी नहीं होना चाहिए, बट इसी का करते हैं. ये भी रियल नहीं है अल्टीमेटली. So, in this way, having said, Bhagavan finally tells to us, these are the four means by which discover the substratum and dissolve the imagined projected world of multiplicity and entanglement in that. These things remain appear to be vague because we just entered into this classroom of Vedanta, just like Puja Gurudev gives the example of a newborn baby. Newborn baby is confused with everything. The light there, the people around there, variety of expressions like a zoological park animals. He is frightened only. Slowly he understands in few months, oh, this is called the place I am thrown. Both of them. The one newborn for some months is in a confusion. The new died also will be confusion for some time. Swami, did you die? How did you know? It's simple common sense, yeah. Suddenly देह छोड़कर गए तो confusion होता है कि नहीं? Then you understand, oh, this no more am I doing this. Deha are the people around. Then I have to go in search of the new Deha. That's how it goes. And all commitments he makes, promises he makes. Seeing all that and seeing his qualification, Bhagavan gives the deserving next to Deha. That's how it goes on. But that few 12 days of period is in that confusion. So to the newborn. So to we all. In the vagueness, in the initial days of listening to all the not so obvious understandings in spirituality. Means spiritually they are obvious, but those who are in the worldly living, to them they are not so clear or conspicuous or obvious. Nobody talks these things. They only talk the world as real. You have to gain it by hook or crook. So these are the hook vesu, these are crook vesu. Then go and get it and indulge, enjoy, and die one day. The whole world talks about that. Who talks about the entire world as in the projection of the mana? Mind itself is the expression of Maya. Maya is non-existing entity from the self standpoint. कौन बात करते हैं? Supra knowledge, metaphysical knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. Only few. You and I, because we just have got some curiosity, inquisitiveness. Really, if you want to sort out all that and reach out to the absolute truth, to sort out the problems of all sorts, inner and outer, once for all, discover the self, which is substratum of everything, on which everything is projected and superimposed by these four means. Discover the self by these four means, or discover my given jnana vijnana naipunam by these four means. What is the jnana vijnana naipunam? When you are not inquiring and looking to the world outside, the world of triputi is appearing and taken as real and involved in that, and it is giving experience also. But same me, instead of involving in that, inquiry into the root of all of them, I discover that self alone is there in that, and none of them are there. So when you look into the bird, there are no pods. Look into the water, there are no waves. When you look at the wave or the pot, you think that there is something really there. But look into every nook and corner of the pot or wave, what you see is nothing but mud and water. What is it not? In the same way, when you inquire it, that's called as Jnana Vijnana Naipunam. To achieve, to know that self, beyond all this Nama Rupadi, the four techniques are given. All four are required. We'll read the mantra, we'll explain for some time. Then we go into Sri Uddhav Ji's most relevant, pertinent, powerful, wonderful, beautiful, excellent question to ask, which we all should have the guts and we don't we always hesitate it. It is such a prashna, the answer of which is both suicidal immortality. The both contradictory happenings happen in one go when the answer is experienced in us, which Krishna is going to give to the question of Uddhava. It is simultaneously suicide and immortality. देखो, जीव भाव का सुइसाइड हो जाएगा, आत्मा अमृतत्व का प्राप्ति भी हो जाएगा. ऐसा वाला जवाब वाला, ऐसा वाला प्रश्न उद्धव पूछने वाले हैं आगे जाकर. But before that, what are these four things which will again be told after 10-12 shlokas, and every shastra, Shankara Bhagavan in all his prakarnas, everywhere it is said like that only. है ना? In the Shruti Pratyaksham Aitihyam Anumanam cha Jagrati, this is what is said in other context. Shrutya Yuktya Swanubhutya Jnatva Swatmanam Advayam. This is what is called again in Vivek Chudamani. All the same here also said, the four things are Pratyakshena Anumanena Nigaменatma Samvida Adyantavada Sadjnatva Nisango Vicharediha Pratyakshena Anumanena Nigaменatma Samvida Adyantavada Sadjnatva Nisango Vicharediha. There is one self which is Anadi and Ananta. On that Anadi, causeless, birthless, Ananta, deathless, and which has not projected, not created anything out of it, on that Paramatma, again and again listen, in the ignorance of that Paramatma Swarupa, that the Adi Antavala Jagat Nirmit ho raha hai. This Adi Antavala, everything, please discover it to be Asattu. So, Adi Antavat Asat Jnatva Nisangaha Vicharet Iha. Now, this is very, very sublime and crucial thought. One only we will share with that. What is that? The Nisangata means what? Nisangata is not an action. Nisangata is a jnana. And what is the jnanam which brings Nisangata is only one thing, that everything which is an Adi, everything which is Endra, Anta, Adi means earlier it was not there. Prior absence it is called. Anta means posterior absence. So between the prior absence and posterior absence, in between present whatever it is there, there also it is asat only, though appearing. This knowledge, this understanding is the one which naturally creates detachment. like a snake on the rope. When the snake is taken as a real Satu, the snake charmer gets attached to it. Yeah, I want to take it and take out the poison of it and make use of it for earn money. As zoological park fellow says कि या आजकल सांप कम हो गए वहाँ इसको जाकर ले आकर रखेंगे. Then a person who is angry with the snakes for various reasons, he wants to hate and kill that snake. So snake killer is there, snake user is there as snake charmer, and the snake entertainer is there. All the three try to do these three types of responses to the snake. But when the snake is found to be not there, once the rope is discovered, all the three of them, the attitude in them toward that is called asangaha. When they take it as real, then the sangha is both types, raga sangha, dvesha sangha. So some with raga, they want to take the snake and do whatever they want. Dvesha sangha, they want to kill. But none of the raga, dvesha, rupi sangha will be there once you know the snake is not there. Clear about it? The real asanga, therefore, is possible only in the knowledge that the world is not real. When it's not real, how can you, like when you wake up, the dream is not real, it is understood. Still, you hanker about the dream things. Only foolish people, one or two may think, but majority of us are not attached to anything of the dream. आउट ऑफ फैसिनेशन में से यार उस ड्रीम में ना वो बैंक मेरा ही था, इसमें इतने पैसे थे, वो हकीकत में भी होता कितने अच्छा, काश काश वो कैश पूरा मेरा होता. He may say one or two feeling, but he knows it is not possible. You understand it? निस्संग होकर इस लोक में हम विचरण कर सकते हैं तब जब the knowledge of the self leads to the understanding that the entire not self is unreal completely. So adyantavat asatnyatva nissango vicharediha. Nissanga with the in between appearing things of the world called as names and forms. It was not earlier, it is not later. Right now it is appearing. So appearance can appear but not real. There was no point in attached to that. In that way, he lives a life of freedom in his mind, not attached or averted to anything. राग नहीं, द्वेष नहीं, राग द्वेष रहितता को निस्संगता कहते हैं. He revels in that. Okay, so what we have to do with this world, neither you can gain it nor you can lose it. Why? It is not real. Then it is only projected. So in a projected world, what are the rules, regulations have to be followed in that play? Follow it. More than that, कोई भी जेब में ले जाने का कोशिश मत करना. Please love this sentence. आद्यंतवत् असत् ज्ञात्वा निस्संगः विसरेत इव. And what are the four techniques by which everything is Adivan, Attavan, is Asang, Nit, Asang, Asat hai? How to know that? The four techniques. One is Pratyakshena, second is Anumane, na, third Agamena, fourth is Atma Samvida. Okay. First Pratyaksha is what? As we said, everything in front of our eyes only is perishing. Other things also perish, but we will not be there to see it, but it will perish. Anything, no? Like I am 95 years old. There's a fresh tree grown. So I will not see the end of the tree because I will not be there living, but someday it will die. Or any small animal or a child just born 2 महीने 3 महीने 1 साल. I am 99 years old. I will not see the death of child because I will die much earlier. But one day he will also become 99 and will die. In that way, pratyakshena means whatever we see with the eyes, pratyakshena. कि हमारे आंखों के सामने घड़ा फूट रहा है, फिर मिट्टी बच रहा है. That's called प्रत्यक्ष रूप से देखना. Then Anumana Pramana is, that's what we said now, which has a beginning, which has an end, in between also, it only appearance. So, this thing, if you can really catch, deeply to the core of the heart, and there the reality given to the projected world, if it can be eliminated, the sigh of relief which we can have because of the detachment genuinely born from within is so beautiful. You can dance in ecstasy that now I'm no more bound by anything because I don't attach to anything because I have understood that everything is perishable. Therefore, everything is unreal. पेरिशेबल है, अनरियल है, बीच में दिख रहा है, मैं ही फंसूंगा. Some wise people, when they enter government quarters or when they are given a government vehicle, they use it, but they know that one day they have to give it to government, though they don't get attached to so much. Is it not? Some more wise people also in that way, when the children, grandchildren come from America, some of them get caught up so much and they enjoy with them. When they are going, they cry. But the wise people know कि एक महीने के लिए आए हैं उसके जाएंगे. They enjoy 1 month, but when they go, they say, okay, go, all the best, good luck, come again, or I will come to see you. Understand that aspect of non-attachment, because knowing that it is not real, not permanent. This is called as anumana. And all the agamas talk about is ki iha asmin atma swarupe nana kinchana na asti. In the pure Sat Swarupa, there is not even Kinchana Rupanama. Pausing I am for you to catch. This world, which is so tangible, please remember, and so experiential, so much it is giving the reactions or results when we are acting, all of that in the true self, not there. That is what Agamas speak, Shastras talk. So Pratyaksha, aankh se dikh rahe, Anumana, logically you can conclude, Agama, the real authority of us for knowledge called as Shastras say that and Paramatma Tattva, Nehana Nasti Kinchana. Like this, many sentences are there. Fourth one is Atma Samvida. Atma Samvit means on the seat of meditation, when through the process of rejection, every of the Anatma you reject and reach to the Atma Tattva, listen carefully. Once you reach Atma Tattva and look back from that side, whatever you are living earlier, LEVING, are unreal only actually. Other than self, nothing is there. When you experience it on the seat of meditation, it's called a Atma Samvit. So Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, Veda Pramana, Anubhuti Pramana. These are the four by which when we know the self knows real, other than that nothing is real. With that you get detachment. In the detachment, Vichareta, you just live life of the self. No thing is other than the self to get bound or to get entangled into. No, this spirituality, philosophy, Vedanta, not for everyone. Only whose hridayas are paripakva, those who said enough of this world, those who have got the contentment, those whose intellects are so sharp to question. After all, what is the substratum of all this? So नाटक is going on. उसके पीछे है क्या? ऐसा जिनको जिज्ञासा है, ऐसा जिनको तृप्ति हो गया इस जगत से, ऐसे जिनको अल्टीमेट आनंद चाहिए, ऐसा जिनको जो फ्रस्ट्रेट भी हो गए इस दुनिया से, ऐसे जो लोग हैं वही लोग दे कैन फिट फॉर दिस नॉलेज. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम इसी दुनिया में कुछ कन्वीनियंट चीज मिल जाए, सुख मिल जाए, चैन मिल जाए, दे आर हैप्पी. देयर इंटेलेक्ट्स आर नॉट सो शार्प एनफ, minds are not so pure enough, vasanas are so full, and indriya manobuddhi are habitually worldly. All of us start our evolutionary journey from there only. Living life like that in the worldliness for few lives, one of the lives, some guru somewhere will listen. That is the seed sown. It takes its own time slowly to become a sprout or sapling. Then slowly we start doing little, going to temple, doing namaskar to the Lord, little of puja here and there, some japa, kirtana. Suddenly one japa and kirtana, that vakta or singer, along with singing, देखो बैठा है ये दुनिया दिख रहा है सब भगवान की माया है, सत्य नहीं है, सत्य भगवान ही है. Even he doesn't know what he's speaking, but he speaks. Suddenly it appears to be new to us. That goes into one corner of the heart. Then after a few lives, slowly that starts sprouting. Then we start doing the Nitya, Nitya, Satya, Satya, Atma, Anatma, Jada Chetana, Viveka we start doing. In that peak of the inquiry of that, which also is the result of many lives of listening, negotiating with the world, slowly we know what is Nitya Satya. And the Nitya Satya is Atma Vastu only, which is Anubhogamya. Everything other than is Anitya and Asatya, even though you experience now at this level. देखो भाई, काले चश्मा है तो काले आंखों में कुछ दुनिया दिखता नहीं, नीले है तो नीला, पीला है तो पीला. So simple an example. Means when you see the world with the goggles of different colors, world appears to be like that. So too, in a mirror house, if you go with variety of mirrors of convex and concave, all the abnormal reflections happen. With all the abnormal reflections, is the person who's reflected, has he got so many abnormalities? Point one. So too, with all the colored vision of the world, is the world really has got color? No. Then what made the world appear to so many colors? The goggles. What made the reflections appear so many ways? The surface of the mirror. So through the upadhi of the mirror, when you do see the reflection, there are variety. Impossible they are. They're all laughable. In mirror house, when you go, to the itna hasoge haso. So too colored goggles, world appears. In the same way, listen, because of seeing the world through the mana, through the indriyas, the world is appearing as Shabda Sparsha Rupa Gandha and Vrutyatmaka. When we consciously transcend using the indriyas as well as mana buddhi, consciously transcend using the indriyas and mana buddhi, consciously transcend using them, you know what do you see? You see everything as your own self. That is what in million times they say, तुम्हारे सामने आईना है, आईने में रिफ्लेक्शन है, रिफ्लेक्शन दिखता है करके, and you are using that reflection to set yourself. With all those things done, still the reflection is unreal. In that 1 micromillimeter surface of the mirror, that much only, no, the mirror, उसके पीछे और कुछ नहीं. That you see the lengths and breadths and the heights and tights, everything reflected in that. 2 किलोमीटर का रोड भी दिखता है उसमें. किसमें? उस मिरर में. कौन सा? जो 1 मिलीमीटर भी नहीं है जिसका थिकनेस. The heights are seen, the weights are seen, heavinesses and all of them are appearing to be so real and they are used also. रिफ्लेक्शन देखकर हम अपने आप को संवारते हैं. अर्जुन आदि तो रिफ्लेक्शन में देख के he hit the fish and he got Draupadi and all in that Matsya Yantra Chedan Bhedan that was in the water. Yet it is as not real. So too उपाधि द्वारा हम अपने आप को इस जगत के रूप में देख रहे हैं. इस सत्य को हमें अनुभव में लाना है, जिससे पहले विचार के द्वारा उसको दृढ़ाति दृढ़ ज्ञान बनाकर इस जगत मिथ्या जानकर उसके प्रति राग द्वेष छोड़कर मन को शांत बनाकर फिर प्रतिबिंब को देखना छोड़कर बिंब का दर्शन करना. The world is reflection of the self in the mirror of the mind. Detaching, devaluing from the reflected world with the poised mind, when we inquire with the reality, we come to know other things appear to be only projection or reflection. This is Vedantic essence. प्रत्यक्षेणानुमानेन निगमेन आत्मसंविदा आद्यन्तवत् असज्ञात्वा निस्संगो विचरेदिह. Just imagine if you know the Sanskrit Bhasha and you are chanting it with the knowledge of that, what a revelation it is. Even if you don't know Sanskrit, in your own language you feel that shloka's meaning and revel in that. प्रत्यक्ष, अनुमान, आगम और आत्मानुभूति प्रमाण के द्वारा everything which has beginning and end, find it to be unreal. Therefore, you are not attached to anything. You are in your own self. That is called the revelation in Atma Mukti. Atmanubhava Mukti. Mukti called Atmanubhava. You revel in the liberation in which you have the experience of the self. Now, will the world be seen later on? Definitely. With the difference. What's the difference? The whole world is none other than me. When things are me only, there is no samsara. The problem comes with the things which are other than me. Because the thing which is other than me, with that only I have raga or dvesha. I will not have raga dvesha towards my own self. I have love for myself, infinite love. So when I say everything of myself, there is infinite love expressed, not the bias of raga dvesha creating samsara. This only we are doing Shravanam. When you do the Mananam, the feeling comes, yaar, jo kaha hai, correct hai. Then on the seat of Dhyanam, we transcend Upadhi. We experience, yaar, main hu. The moment my conscious awareness about my conscious awareness he slipped. Suddenly the mana, in the mana vritti, because of the vritti, entire jagat is guru guru guru, as if it is real, it came. जैसा जो ब्लॉक है पानी का, निकालते ही इतना पानी आ जाता है. In the dams, when the heavy rains floods come, they remove the gates. When the gates are removed, the water which it comes, wow, have you ever seen the opening of the gates of the dam? I have seen once twice. एक तो थोड़ा खोलने से 1 घंटा बाद में गया मैं, तो एग्जैक्टली टाइम पे नहीं. But even after that, when I saw that Tungabhadra Dam in Hosur in Karnataka, what a beautiful the waters gushing. That's the only beauty of the thing we see. Even today, yesterday, every day gets. Though the example is fascinating, but the example's purpose here is what? The moment we revert from the awareness of the self, immediately the gates of the mana are open, the floods of the nama rupa atmaka jagata in microseconds it is projected. It's just like entire world which was in the bija avastha, in nidra. The moment you bring out your mana buddhi in waking, immediately gets projected. इज इट नॉट? देखो जादू तमाशा नींद में, न मैं हूं न आप है न दुनिया है न कुछ है, कुछ ही नहीं है वहां निद्रा. Moment the mind intellect gets up, immediately world is projected. So where is the whole world? In your own mind. Where is the mind? In the ignorance of self. So the self is known, mind is gone, world is gone. World is gone means world as other than the self is gone. Self alone everywhere there. स्वप्रत्यक्षेणानुमानेन अगम निगमेन आत्मसंविदा आद्यंतवद असत ज्ञात्वा निसंगो विसरेदिह. This is our goal. We have to write that. This is how these 5-6 slokas in the beginning of this 28th chapter are so essence of all the Vedanta Shastra. And these are the ones which we have to work on in our contemplation seat. ओके. एंड इन द कॉन्टेम्पलेशन क्या होता है ना, पहले देखो दृष्टा दृश्य विवेक के द्वारा पहले समझकर कि दृश्य डिपेंड्स ऑन द दृष्टा, दृश्य डजंट डिपेंड ऑन द दृश्य, दृश्यस आर एनी, दृष्टा इज वन. With the few things, Drishya goes on changing, Drishya is dissolvable. With all these correct understandings, when the devaluation of the Drishya is done, and then focus is made on the Drashta, Drashta is found to be Druk Swarupa Chaitanya. He is no more Drashta also. Why? Because Drashta is a Drashta when there is a Drishya. But once you discover that Druk Swarupa Chaitanya Atma, पीछे मुड़कर देखो कुछ नहीं दिखेगा जो पहले दिख रहा था. Are you understanding? That is what in thousands of Shruti mantras the rishis are saying, Veda, in the Ajnana of the Atma, the Anatma is Jagat projected. In the Ajnana of the Rasi, Samp is projected. In the Ajnana of the shell, silver is projected. In the Ajnana of the sand, the mirage water is projected. In the Ajnana of the gold, the ornaments are projected. In the Ajnana of the mud, the projected parts are taken as real. Because of utility, you think they are real. And utility is because I am Dehendra Manambuddhi, I have vasanas, and I have an imagination that through this indulgence, Sukha comes. All of that is called Vyavahara, because of which we take it as real. For example, pot is real for me. Why? Pot is useful for me. Why? With pot I can get water. Means what? Water is required to me. Why? Required by me. Because I drink water and I am alive. As what you are alive by drinking water? As a pranamaya kosh. तो मैं प्राणमय कोश हूँ, मुझे पानी चाहिए, पानी घड़े के द्वारा लिया जा सकता है, इसलिए घड़ा मुझे इंपॉर्टेंट है व्यवहार के लिए, देखो रियल बना. इसलिए पॉट के पीछे मट्टी को हम विचार कर नहीं पा रहे विथ द डर that if I discover the substratum of the pot as mud, then I may not have the pot for quenching my thirst by bringing water through it. This type of unseen deepest fear in us, that I may not be Sukhi because I have to deny the entire world, that the Vedantic Vichara every jiva is not able to begin. Why people don't do Adhyatmic sadhana? Not only because they are indulgent in the world, same thing is other way to say, they may have to miss those things. And वाकई उनको miss करना पड़ता है because they have to detach from the upadhis. Then only their detachment from the worldly things happen. In the detached mind only, the jnanam can be gained through Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. Keep all these things in mind if possible. At least few of them. Every day we'll share them as long as we are together. And definitely, at least after bombarding for 100,000 times, that it may enter into us, this knowledge. And thankful to Taittiriya Upanishad we have taken up nowadays, which is balancing us. That yes, this Vedanta Jnana is ultimate goal, but you can't do it overnight by jumping into it at the cost of all your obligations which are yet to be done, which are still to be done. Therefore, Rutam cha, Svatapasya, Damascha, all of that also you do. Then Satyamada, Dharmam Chara, Swadhyaya, and Mahaprabhada, Acharya, Priyam, Dharma, Hrutya, all those we study in the 11th Anuvaka, we are going to, even that also you do, but reduce the importance value given to that. Do this spirituality even little it, but give more importance to that. So slowly let the evolution of knowing the self, knowing the world to be unreal happen very slowly, steadily, beautifully. Like a doctor, a good doctor, when he does surgery, he sees to it that other than doing surgery, nowhere any harm is caused. So to our Adhyatmic Gurus, so delicately, beautifully guide us toward the spirituality that no harm is done to him, otherwise to the world because of him. देखो सडनली सब त्याग कर हमें संन्यास लेता हूँ तत्व को जानूंगा करोगे ना तो सारा गड़बड़ हो जाता है. It is a preparation to be done 10-15 years before. You have to tell the wife or husband or children, देखो 15-20 साल के बाद मैं सब आपको देकर जाने वाला हूँ. पहले से बोलते आना है. And they will help you so much after 15 years. पापा अभी नहीं है. You prove with so much of attachment to the world that even fourth world war comes, you want to continue holding on. That is another wrong. So this way, our own mind preparation, preparing the world and doing the things beautifully, keeping this goal of knowing the truth as this as a goal, slowly we have to evolve. कोई भी laziness नहीं है. Do you know that not to lose, not to try, just right? That is a work, that is a thought works in spirituality. इस तरफ का अति नहीं करना कि टू मच वी हैव गिवन वैल्यू इंपॉर्टेंस द वर्ल्ड एंड इंटेलिजेंट. इस तरफ भी अति नहीं करना कि बिना सारे ड्यूटीज खत्म किए हम आधा छोड़कर जा रहे हैं. देर साधना कभी नहीं होगा. रिमेंबर द एंटायर वर्ल्ड विल सेंड इट्स थॉट्स. इट विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू एंटर इनटू मेडिटेशन बिकॉज यू हैव टू क्लियर लॉट ऑफ डेट्स. And sannyas is like us. Through this satsanga, etc., for some janma, we clear all our debts. Because we have no other way to clear. We have no money to give. We have no नौकरी to do. तो क्या करें? हमको एक ही मौका दिया जाता है. स्वाध्याय प्रवचन करके आप अपने सारे चुकता कर सकते. Even we have to do it. Without that, entry will not be given to us into deep meditation. खींचेगी पूरी प्रकृति, पूरा प्रारब्ध खींचेगा हमको, दुनिया खींचेगा. How much prarabdha I have, that six classes I have to do, only then little of meditation. देखो, everyone will have to clear the obligation. And वो पता चलता है अंदर से when the mana becomes shanto. Now forcefully you leave the world and come to philosophy or Vedanta or Shastra or Dhyanam. One day, like people when they come to spiritual camps. First day they come with attachment. बच्चों को सबको छोड़ गया है. सेकंड डे थर्ड डे वी आर फैसिनेटेड बाय द वंडरफुल फूड दैट इज कमिंग. है ना, क्योंकि बर्तन मांजने की जरूरत नहीं, धोने वाले हैं. ऑल द सीनियर्स आर सो गुड एंड मास्टर इज टीचिंग सच ए वेदांत, यू कैन हैप्पीली स्लीप. 4 दिन वो लोग इतना एंजॉय करते हैं. देन इमीडिएटली द फिफ्थ डे कम्स, इमीडिएटली द उतावलापन हैपेंस टू देम. जल्दी घर जाकर, जितने 5 दिन हमने उनको तंग करना छोड़ दिया, अब जाकर सारा बदला लेना. And one or two people say, Swami, such a 5 days, beautiful, the camp was here, that we don't want to leave it. All of them say, the camp was beautiful here. None of them say the classes are good. Why the camp was good? Because आराम से खाना मिल रहा है, कुछ भी काम करने को कोई नहीं है, तंग करने वाले कोई नहीं है, और खूब प्यार मिलता है महागुरुदेव से, महागुरुओं से. That comfort they think it, but the inner vasanas pull them. It is not wrong. So that's why what we saw in the morning class, what we are seeing here, दोनों balance करके आगे बढ़ना. This is the thought way out. So heart in heart, what is that? Through pratyaksha, anumana, agama and atma samvita, other than self, nothing is there without experience. So when there is nothing there, how can you attach to anything? That natural attachment is that. With that you rebel. How Gurudev must be living in this world? Everything is my own self. There is no self other than me to get attached or aversion. Therefore, he goes everywhere, but nothing touches him. He is like the lotus, not touched by the water. And he is loving everyone as he is loving himself. Because whether you see from self standpoint or jiva standpoint or Ubali standpoint, सब एक ही है. What made my deha is made the same others dehas. What is special? What my indriyas are doing, their indriyas also doing. What is my mana is their mana also. What is self in me is self there. Therefore, they are always in all is one state of mind. When everything is one, then everything is good. When all is one, then all is well. When all is one and well, what is there unwell to create the raga dvesh? बढ़िया होगा वो जिंदगी, बट वो ब्रेक थ्रू आना चाहिए. As I'm telling you, our deep sincerity, our regularity, somehow I must catch the heart of the Rishi from where he is speaking all these words. I just want to understand. इस तड़प से when कोशिश करेंगे ना, एक दिन वो लग जाता है. एक बार लग गया मानो चस्का, thereafter nothing in the world can bind us. There is nothing to bind other than me. अनात्म मेरे को बांधेगा ना, अनात्म नामक चीज है ही नहीं. सर्वम आत्मा, सर्वम खलु इदम ब्रह्म नेह नानास्ति किंचन. आत्मानं चेति जानीयात् अयमस्मिन् पुरुषः किमिच्छन् कस्य कामय शरीरम अनुसंवरेत्. आत्मोपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति सुखं वा इति वा लोगुन्. यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न भ्रश्. What a beautiful mantras there are. But yes, sir, very deep intellectual apprehensions, understandings, followed by deep meditational inquiries, followed by the experiences. But to come to that intellectual understandings also, we have to have sufficient intellectual subtlety and purity. That intellect will have when it is weaning away from its slavery to the mana and indriyas and deha. सो देहेंद्रिय मन से बचाए हुआ बुद्धि जिसमें सूक्ष्मता आएगा, उस बुद्धि से इन सूक्ष्म विषयों का हम समझकर ध्यान में अनुभव में ला सकते हैं. ओके, नाउ आफ्टर सेइंग ऑल दिस, व्हाट इज द प्रश्न ऑफ उद्धव जी? टुडे वी विल सी द प्रश्न, टुमारो गणेश चतुर्थी वी विल सी द आंसर. उद्धव उवाच. वेरी क्यूट क्वेश्चन इट इज. He has apprehended everything, yet he is not able to reconcile the understanding with his experience. What is understanding is appearing to be so true, so logical, so appealing, yet what is the experience is contradictory. जैसे हमको भी है, आत्मा के अलावा कोई अनात्मा नहीं है, बट हमको अनात्मा ही दिख रहा है, वो भी आत्मा के रूप में, और रियल आत्मा पता ही नहीं किधर है, कौन सी आत्मा. That sort of dilemma or in doubt he asks. Uddhava Vacha. See that height of the question also. Level. Naivatmano na dehasya samsrutir drashtu drusyayoho anatma swadrusho risha kasyasya upalabhyate. Hey Isha, O Lord, he is addressing Krishna as, O Lord, he says, drashtu drusyayoho anatma swadrushoho. Swadrushaha, myself. Anatma is other than me. This myself is drashta and anatma is drushya. Which are they? This swadrusha, atma is the self. Then that is drushya and anatma is called as deha. So there are two things. One the self, second is not self. The self is the atma in me, which is called as drashta. The not self is a deha, which is called drushya. Okay, in both of them, there is no chance of samsruti or samsara. In the pure self, there is no samsara. Because it's infinite, it is all pervading, it is one without second, it is immutable, birthless, changeless, deathless. Then how can there be any samsara in that? नहीं है. Or deha is anatma, is drushya. Whichever is anatma and drushya is jada. In that jada, how can there be samsara? Like, will a chair have a samsara that a patla dubla banda is biting or sitting, or a 200 kilo wala बैठ रहा है? No, it will not have that feeling in it. It has no samsara, whoever sits. Out of the weight, it may break, but it doesn't know that even it is breaking. There is no samsara. So, जड़ देह को संसार है क्या? नहीं. चैतन्य आत्मा को संसार है क्या? नहीं. बट मेरे को अनुभव में आ रहा है संसार of सुख दुख. Always remember, at one ultimate definition, samsara means coming and going sukha dukkha. In that, we go for the sukha, sukha goes away from us. We go away from the dukkha, dukkha chases us. That's called samsara. सुख के लिए भागना, दुख से दूर भागना, द संसार है. जितना भागते हो सुख के लिए, उतना भागता रहेगा वो. जितना दुख से दूर भागते हो, पीछे आता रहता. That I am experiencing. I want sukha. I am going toward the running toward the people, objects, whichever I think source of sukha, I am going towards. And whichever I am think source of dukha, I am trying to go away from it. ना दुख छूट रहा है, ना सुख मिल रहा है. इसको ही संसार कहते हैं. अनुभव में तो आ रहा है मुझे. देह को there is no samsara, आत्मा को there is samsara. Then samsara anubhav is going on to whom? Now I tell you today one thought only. So we'll discuss tomorrow more. Ki, to whom this samsara, when you inquire, the samsara himself is found to be unreal. This is the crux of all Vedanta. That self, be attentive, identified with the upadhi, is the samsari, you and me, who are suffering. And the jiva who is suffering identifies upadhi. When he de-identifies upadhi, he himself discovers his pure self, which is of the nature of liberation or ananda. इतना ही है साधना. तो व्हाट आंसर ही विल गिव? भाई ये प्रश्न जिसने पूछा उसको संसार है और उसको जीव कहते हैं और जीव का अर्थ क्या है. दीज 5-6 श्लोकास विल आंसर अस. भगवान कृष्ण विल गिव आंसर in this way by explaining jiva as well as to him is a samsara and jiva is unreal. Like all the suffering is to the dreamer in the dream world, and the dreamer himself is unreal. And then when we listen only this sentence, there is always chance of frightening. The dreamer is unreal, but there is a real waker, who is blissful without samsara of sukha dukkha of the dreamer. So too, the jiva in the waking avastha is unreal. Doesn't mean that real atma is not there. Atma is there, which is free from samsara. That is me. तो संसार रहित आत्मा मैं अपने आप को भूलकर संसार युक्त जीव बना. Only by one thing, my own बेवकूफ, which I am so lovingly holding on to. Is it not? My own murkhata. I am in love with and fascination with my own delusion, ignorance, attachments, likes, dislikes, vasanas, desires. सारे खचरा. देखो सुबह सुबह आप देखोगे ना, in all the places 6 बजे, all the people, some of them, बड़े बड़े थैली लेकर खचरे कुंड में जाकर, है ना, कोई प्लास्टिक बोतल उठा रहा है, कोई प्लास्टिक पन्नी उठा रहा है, कोई और कुछ चीजें उठा रहा है. At least they have some utility with them because they sell, they get money. 10 किलो दे दो तो 10 रुपए मिलता उनका, कुछ ऐसा. Same we do. All kachra, which is not even that also, that much also value. There we add all of that and say, I want to be happy. यार हैप्पी आत्म स्वरूप को छोड़कर अनहैप्पी रहना ही जिस जीव भाव का लक्षण है, उस जीव भाव से तादात्म्य रखकर ये नहीं रहने वाले जगत में सुख को ढूंढना कौन सी समझदारी की बात है बताओ. दिस इज व्हाट वेदांत सेज. You are mistaken, my dear friend, in these 3 things. Mistaken in not identifying with the self, mistaken in taking yourself as jiva, mistaken yourself to get sukha through upadhis in the non-existing world. याद रखना, एक महा सेंटेंस से हम क्लास कंक्लूड कर रहे हैं. दुनिया दिख रहा है नहीं। सांप दिख रहा है नहीं है। परमात्मा नहीं दिखेंगे उपाधियों को, लेकिन वही है। सेल्फ इज नॉट सीन बट दैट अलोन इज रियल। वर्ल्ड इज ओनली सीन बट नॉट रियल। If this much clicks to us enough that we sit quietly and transcend all the upadhi, revel in our own Atma. Start of the journey. It not happen in one जन्म. अभी 10 जन्म का मुझे देह के रूप में रहकर जीने का है, तो जीऊंगा, भगवान की इच्छा है। बट क्लियर पहले इंटेलेक्चुअल नॉलेज में क्लियर होकर, दैट इज व्हाट माय गोल मानकर, टुवर्ड दैट गोल व्हाट इज टू बी डन, स्टार्ट डूइंग इट, then the Ishvara Kripa, Guru Kripa comes, all of that see to it that everything is settled. It will take some time, let it take. Like 2 years you all gave, I really owe a lot to you, thankful to you. My real heartfelt pranams and gratitudes you. The 2 years you gave every day, morning, evening time for class. But how much benefit came to me because I studied Shastra, to you also because you also heard. कितना अंदर का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो गया, हिम्मत आ गया। शास्त्र का क्रक्स क्या है समझ में, जीवन का मतलब क्या है समझ में, व्हाट इज टू बी अचीव्ड एक्चुअली टू गेट लिबरेटेड, वी आर बिकमिंग वेरी स्पष्ट। So beautiful it is, and keep on spending as long as we are alive only for this, and we live for living the body. Right now only I am saying to God, भगवान इसी जन्म में मुक्ति देना है तो आपकी मेहरबानी, नहीं है तो अगले जन्म में शुरू से ही मुझे शास्त्र पढ़ते हुए आत्मा अनुभव का ही कोशिश करना है। नो अदर थिंग मस्ट इन्वॉल्व इन दिस में संकल्प, दिस में प्रयत्न, दिस में प्रार्थना, दिस में प्रतिज्ञा, प्लीज फुलफिल। If this sankalpa, prarthana, pratigna, prayatna is not done, the earlier habits of being a jiva, getting caught up in the world with raga dvesha, taking the world as real, running behind it, fighting with everyone, and creating confusion for ourselves and everybody continues. थोड़ा सबलाइम है, आई नो दैट, तो क्या कोशिश करें तो पकड़ में आ जाएगा। सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय। अब आ रहा है कि नहीं थोड़ा सा भागवत रसास्वादनम? In the 7th and 10th skandha, we have the bhakti rasa aswadanam. In the 11th skandha, mukti giving jnana rasa aswadanam. First time it's like that. Again and again with pure heart, pure intention, you start reading, the understanding grows. Accordingly, the feeling that I must discover this bliss giving self also grows. उसको लाइफ ही लाइफ है, वही मजेदार है। इसलिए हम बार बार पारायण कर रहे हैं, आपसे इतना टेक्स्ट ले रहे हैं, वही चीज को दोबारा पढ़ रहे पढ़ा रहे। लेट अस स्टडी आवर अध्यात्म रामायण आल्सो फॉर सम टाइम, व्हिच इज ऑलमोस्ट इन दीज लाइन्स ओनली।